Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Another edition of the EKN Face2Face show here on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It's a little different time-wise because our three guests are really stretched all across the U.S., one in Florida, one in California, one out in Hawaii right now. So we kind of had to dial things in. So it's a 7 o'clock Eastern time zone show, almost that prime time kind of show. This is going to be a really interesting one. Obviously, one of the big things that happened over the last couple of weeks was the fact that Rock Cup USA was indeed able to get an event completed in Las Vegas. The Rock the Rio event brought a lot of teams and drivers out to the Rio to go racing to cap off the season. And one of the really cool things was obviously the big win for Oliver Askew on the Trackmagic. Oliver, a driver who came up through the karting ranks before getting into the Road to Indy, and of course being victorious there, and eventually working his way into his first year of IndyCar racing this year. He came back and hooked up with Trackmagic, and another name that is an iconic name when it comes to North American karting. The American manufacturer that continued to build karts into the mid-2000s, then essentially went away at that point after the passing of the owner, Fausto Vitello. The brand has been brought back, though, and we'll talk kind of how the brand came back, just on some passion projects of people wanting to go back racing the machines. But again, a really cool story of Trackmagic coming back, the owners group helping to fund Squadra Trackmagic, which is a new Trackmagic branded machine, working with Gary Carlton at GFC Karting, and then they get Oliver Askew to come racing. And those are the three people we have involved. Gary's here, Oliver's here, and Jason Lapointe, former factory driver for Trackmagic, multi-time race winner, champion, first ever Scusa Pro Moto Tour champion as well. He's going to come and join us. Let's bring these guys on here right now. We'll start with Jason, bring in Gary, grab Oliver, put the right thing on here. Guys, thank you for coming and joining me here on Face2Face.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks for having us.
Great to have you. So this what I love about this is it spans my entire career as a journalist, because when I first started Shifter Card Illustrated, Jason Lapointe was the champion Trackmagic driver. Then, of course, we moved over to Gary winning races for Trackmagic and eventually a couple of Super Nationals. Then, of course, Oliver now on the black and yellow as well. This is kind of a really cool thing in terms of my entire 20-something year career. First and foremost, I think let's get started first. Oliver, let's talk about the race itself, and then we'll kind of go back into the origin story of it. You run your first year in IndyCar this year with Aaron McLaren SP. Then all of a sudden, somebody sends me a picture of a suit, a karting suit with Trackmagic on it, your name on it. I'm like, okay, this is really cool. You end up, how did you connect with Gary and Jason to be a Trackmagic driver for Rock the Rio?
Well, for a couple of years now, ever since Gary started his company, both GFC and when he started Trackmagic, or restarted Trackmagic as well, we talk all the time. I grew up with Gary at Ocala Grand Prix. I spent summers at his house, and we're always talking about getting back into karting and doing a race specifically in Vegas, and it just happened to come together this year. So I was super happy to make it happen and to kind of go back and support Gary and support Jason and the karting community. And to be honest, I wasn't really expecting to do that well, because I was out of it for about 5 years, and I think in some aspects I'm a better driver than I was back then. So it's kind of cool for me to feel that and to experience that.
I can imagine, because you've developed your racecraft and everything you've done in cars, and it transitions back into karting, and you're obviously a more mature driver now as well. Gary, let's go to you and ask about this. Your side, how did this kind of come together? Was this kind of an offer that you were like, hey, listen, when you're ready, we want to have you come and race? It could have been on a GFC product. It ended up being part of the Trackmagic program. From your side, your vantage point, how did this come together?
To be honest, I don't really remember.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of things that there's always going on. I don't know exactly how it intertwined, but I believe it was Jason saying he wanted a second driver, because we saw what happened with Matthias last year with only having one driver. If you have a certain type of problem or crash out, then your one lone duck is out of the water. And a second driver, I think, was what his intentions were. And I thought of Oliver, because to kind of touch on saying that he didn't know how well you do, I kind of had a feeling that he would do really well, and he proved it in the testing that we did. We did a little covert test before we did the race in Vegas, and I kind of saw it the very first day.
Yeah.
in the test that he would do very well. And I think his racecraft and everything wasn't better, but I think his just mental capacity, being in an IndyCar and he's gone through the ranks. I mean, it was kind of completely different, but then they were saying some things that were completely different working with Oliver than when I worked with him in the past. And obviously some things were exactly the same, but like the biggest things that I saw was, I remember he always used to be, and I think with any young driver, they're always so focused on, was that the fastest? Who's the fastest? Yeah. And I don't think Oliver asked me once who was the fastest or how far off are we. I mean, you just come off the track very mundane every time, like, this is what the kart's doing. And then I just say to Sonny Cervelli, the mechanic, we're going to do this, this, and this. And it wasn't never like, oh, is that going to be better? Is it going to be worse? It was just, okay. And then, yeah, so that, I would think it was mostly just mental capacity and be able to give feedback what the kart was doing and the intense level of feedback. I think Oliver's intensity has always been there. His work ethic has always been there, and that's not changed from the day he worked with us in Ocala. But just the amount of, I guess, mental capacity to be there and just go, okay, this is what it's happening. This would make me faster, and like zero emotion about it. Just like, this is what I need, and then we just give him what he wanted, and obviously the results show that it worked well.
I think it's such a cool deal, the fact that you have such a history of working with Oliver coming up through the ranks when he was a lot younger, of course, at Ocala Grand Prix. We're going to touch back on that. Let's take the opportunity now, Jason, to bring you in and kind of let's set the stage, the origin story of what brought Trackmagic back. I'll start with the fact that you were one of the Trackmagic factory drivers in the late 1990s. Of course, you won the first year the SuperKarts USA Pro Moto Tour when Jim Earley was running the program. Then Trackmagic that's when it was like probably at its zenith at that point with yourself and Kyle Martin and Oliver Rowan and so many drivers. Rudolph, Balmerito, Buckwalter. You go through the guys that ran Trackmagic back in the day, and of course, Mamo Gidley as well. How did this whole thing come together that the Trackmagic owners group on Facebook was just a bunch of guys who were really passionate about restoring Trackmagic, bringing them kind of back? It turned into more than that, more of a, hey, we want to get this brand back out there.
Right. So two things happened at the same time. One was myself and Howie Adelson and Ryan Fow, and I mentioned it to a few other guys that, hey man, I really want to, see what's going on with Trackmagic, and so we thought, well, let's see. And Howie had all these connections. He started a lot of companies, including Gearbox, and a bunch of what Howie's done in the past. And so he goes, oh, well, I have this guy, and we can find out. And so at that same time that we were trying to see what was up with the trademark and the whole brand, a couple of years passed, and then Bob Ayerks and the group started on Facebook. It was very small, and Joe Fong had kind of been around and kept in touch with us and stuff, and then all of a sudden we nailed down the trademark, and this group started going, and then everybody was getting together, and then there's some real enthusiasts like Don DeLea, who's buying Trackmagics like crazy. Don's got a lot of Trackmagics. and they're like, oh, we're going to do groups and barbecues and Big Rich and Gorilla Barbecue, and it's coming out, and people are getting together, and all of a sudden it was a hot item, and I'm like, oh man, this is really cool. This is kind of what I wanted, was to bring it back, keep it alive, keep those relationships alive. I mean, I've been friends and best friends with all those guys you just mentioned for a while, Kyle Martin and I and Oliver. I mean, we go to Disneyland together with our families, and, we've been everywhere and stayed in touch and done things over the years, and that camaraderie and that history we've had, and that, friendship and brotherhood. I mean, that's what I saw down at that race with Gary and Sonny and Oliver Askew and Mike, even Cole and his dad, Scott. It's like a rebirth, and it's really cool to see this type of connection again. And I'm like, this is what brought us together. This is why our group is here. And now, instead of just being, oh, those guys were pretty good 20 years ago, now it's like, well, Trackmagic's good now. Now it's current. Now it's relative. And I'm like, because you can only rehash the past so much, and then you got to look forward. And now we got the race team we're moving forward with. We've got a lot of recreational events and, rally schedule that we got shut down here.
Yep.
I mean, wildfires, COVID, I mean, you name it, it all happened at the same time. And
That's right.
so, but no, that's going to happen. And then, we've started talking about some other things over the winter here, including Oliver and I. So I'm thinking, we've got some fun things ahead of us. And we've all got the same overall goal with the brand. It's just, it's going in a bunch of different directions right now. I mean, the recreational side, the older karts. I'm really liking this rebirth of the 80cc program in NorCal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a shifter kart fan. I mean, I'll be honest, if it doesn't shift, I mean, I don't. It was Shifter Kart Illustrated.
That's what
first,
it was.
Right? Shifter Kart Illustrated. It was, SCUSA didn't have anything but shifter karts.
Yep.
So I don't know what happened, but I had to come back to karting because someone screwed it up. So.
Hey, listen, Gary, let's go to you now. Obviously, wildly successful GFC karting. The amount of the success that you're having, the development you're having with the kids, we'll get back to that a little bit. The amount of time that you put in, I don't know that there's anybody in the sport right now that's dedicated as much as you are to the product line, your company, and all your customers. What does it mean to you? Because obviously you were the final Trackmagic factory driver before we lost Fausto. You were there. You were sleeping on the cot. You had the FTR. You had your own chassis that you essentially kind of designed. It was your baby. You've got Trackmagic, the logo, the black and yellow back again. We talked about the two different chapters, right? There's the first chapter, and then there's this new chapter that's developing, and it's underneath your tent. Tell me what that means to you, to be able to have that Trackmagic back again.
Yeah, it's been really cool. I mean, I guess I'm not one of those guys that in the moment sees what's probably happening. I'll probably look at it, 5-10 years from now and go, "Oh, that was really cool." I'm always the guy that's looking at it at the moment. How can we get it faster? How can it be faster? How can we develop it? But honestly, I think I feel the most out of it when you just see the reaction that people get out of it, and how much people seem to enjoy it. And they always come up, and we get many people that come up. It looks so good. It's great to see it on the track. And I think I'm just so wrapped up into every time that we brought it to the track, I'm just worried about tire pressures or what wheels should we be using, what materials. See, I'm that guy. I'm in it. I'm in there to win. I think it was even one of those times when we did it last year when they had the Trackmagic owners group. They had the tent and they had the little ceremony thing going on. Mark came in. He's like, "Gary, they're doing a whole ceremony here. You probably should go over there." And I think it was myself and Mattia Madami just sitting there just going over all these things that we wanted to do for the next day. Yeah. And it was like, oh, I guess I better go over there, show my face. But I mean, long story short, I think it's really cool. I think it'll be one of those things I realize how cool it is after the fact. And I really haven't had much time to decompress and really realize what we did even this past, or what was it, a week and a half ago. Yeah. But I think it's really cool to see the brand back there, see how many people are passionate about it, and seeing, I think, the more core group. I mean, I think, probably 80% of the people out there don't even know what Trackmagic is. Maybe I'm wrong, but those core group of people that know what it is, those are the people that I enjoy even spending time with. And I think Alex Speed. I mean, when they first came out, I mean, they were like, "Dude, that is so cool." Obviously, they were a big part of Trackmagic.
Yes.
We pause our face-to-face broadcast for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. It's time to put 2020 behind us and start planning for 2021. Get out your calendar and mark off the dates for the fastest growing Rock Cup program in the U.S., the Challenge of the Americas. It's our 14th season, and 2021 will be the biggest yet. We set a new series record at Cal Speed last February at 142 entries, and that's where we're kicking off the year on January 22 to 24. We're picking up where we left off, and it is going to be huge. As always, the challenge features 3 weekends at 3 of the finest tracks in the West. And for 2021, that's Cal Speed Karting in Fontana, the Phoenix Kart Racing Association in Glendale, and Sonoma in NorCal wine country. Our classes include Micro, Mini, Junior, Senior, and Masters Rock, our multi-manufacturer 100cc Junior, Senior, and Masters level, and our well-supported Rock Shifter and Rock Shifter Masters program. While other West Coast programs are shrinking, the Challenge of the Americas and Rock Cup are growing. Don't miss out on the fun, the atmosphere, and the hardcore racing of the Challenge. Prizes include tickets to the Rock Super Final in Italy and the Rock the Rio event in Las Vegas. The Challenge opener is less than 3 months away, so head to our website at challengekarting.com, pull out that calendar, and lock in the dates, and we'll see you in Fontana. The Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is where out-of-the-box ease and outstanding consistency meet to create legendary races. Briggs & Stratton's history in motorsports dates back to when the first engines came off the assembly line in the early 1900s. Their focus on the grassroots level continues to help build generations of racers. Since 2008, the Briggs & Stratton 206 has gained a following that has the engine powering the largest fields in North American karting today. From the club level and track programs to traveling regional series and national events, Briggs & Stratton competition provides the most exciting racing in the sport. Engineered and hand-built exclusively for racing, every Briggs 206 engine is power tested and serialized before it goes in the box. Karters can take that engine straight from the box to their kart and be on the podium at the end of the race day. To learn more about the 206 engine and to find a North American dealer near you, head to briggsracing.com. Briggs & Stratton Racing. What powers you? Welcome back to Face2Face on the EKN Radio Network. Yeah, I got pictures of Scott Speed on a Trackmagic at Marshalltown. I think it was Formula A. At that point.
Yeah. I think didn't Scott Speed win its first Trackmagic's first national championship? Jason might know that. Pat Saker,
1995, yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome.
And
okay,
he rode with me to Marshalltown.
Well, listen, and to be real, let's bring this up again. This is one of the reasons I wanted to do this, because I want to kind of educate people on the history of Trackmagic. It was such an amazing part of American karting, because it was at the forefront of the shifter kart days, as Jason was talking about, that mid '90s when but it was an attitude, right? That was one of the things. I think the different thing about Trackmagic, it wasn't just a brand. It was an attitude. It was a feeling. It was, you guys were almost like a group of outlaws to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very true. And I was confused because, I came from the whole karting scene. I was racing in Europe that first year. I was with Trackmagic, and I didn't quite get the whole thing at first. It's like, man, these guys are kind of wearing skater coats and stuff. I'm like, I don't, just wearing it's like, what happened to my cool Swiss Hutless jacket? It was very Euro, And then I realized, oh man, everybody loves his stuff. And then I got kind of got into it, learned to love the brand, and I like being different. I like the fact that we could start something and finish it being different. And I mean, now it's a little bit, obviously we've had to change things, but this Gary Carlton's GFC brand and Trackmagic it's one thing, I mean, there's nothing to hide there. This is very, I talk with my hands under my face.
That's all right.
It's one big passion and one big deal. I'm helping out, Trackmagic Owners Group's helping out, and we sponsor, we're trying to pick, the best drivers we can put in there. Oliver, obviously one of them. My only real requirement was I like helping American drivers, Yep. Because, I mean, we all, everyone who's tried to be an American driver and make it all the way to IndyCar like Oliver has, we've all had our struggles, and anything we can do to promote, young American drivers moving up. That was a great theme in Trackmagic for a number of years. But, the GFC brand and Trackmagic brand together, it's no more different than, I mean, this is dating me, but when you're running Atlantic with Cameron Motorsports, and it's Link sponsored. Yeah. You call it the Lynx car, but it's Cameron Motorsports. So this is GFC Motorsports. It's the Trackmagic kart. I mean, it's the same thing, right? And we see it all over now. I mean, different kart manufacturers have different branding. The difference is we have a group of enthusiasts, and these this group is intense, and they never lost a competitive edge. I mean, obviously you saw my video, right? I mean, I'm nuts. I can't be there. I can't do what Gary's doing every day. I mean, the amount of hours this guy in travel he does every day is insane. And I know the amount of time Oliver puts into his racing career and what that takes, the intensity. I mean, it's you got to do it while you're younger.
That's right. Hey, listen, there was some good video, like you said. Your wife took a picture of you when you're watching the split screen with the whole deal from the race itself. The one live feed from, I think it was Don was having the live feed and the live timing. Gary, there was some video of you that came out too right at the very end after I think after the win was there, and I think it was you. I think you were hugging Mike Speed. I think you could see there was pure emotion. Give me the inside. How did you feel when he had won that race? I like Oliver's smile already. How emotional was it for you to win that race?
It was a big deal for me because we had won the senior race with Jake Drew, which my first national win in the tag category was massive. And then knowing that we had a good shot of winning the race in the shifter category. I mean, you don't get very many opportunities to win both the premier classes, senior classes, at the same race at the biggest race of the year. So obviously I was watching Oliver during the race, but I also had 8 other drivers in that race. So, I mean, I'm trying to watch all these guys because, I want to have that, feedback for all the other drivers and everything. And honestly, the last couple laps, Oliver has pulled a little bit of a gap on Myers. So I was actually really watching Hunter Pickett a lot. Because he was coming up strong too, but when then Pickett made the last lap pass, like it was the second to last corner, you got around the guy to get podium, and like that even the Oliver deal. I mean, it was like one of those races it's kind of ours to lose at that point. So and then for Hunter to get on the podium, 2 drivers on the podium, 2 different drivers that I haven't put on the podium at a race like that. I mean, it was good. Obviously, the amount of work and everything, it was just good to let it out. And honestly, I didn't I was happy, I was stoked. And then when I see the mechanics and how stoked they are, that's when it becomes, more, when you see the people that you've made happen, or they've collectively as a group have put in the effort and their happiness, and it makes you even happier.
We got Oliver back. Lost him now. I think he went to the phone. So Oliver's there. We'll get him back there. He's doing a good job.
Yeah. Something happened to my wife. We're good now.
That's all right. We got you back. Gary, continue to talk about just the emotion of getting that victory. Let me go this for you, Oliver, because when you were so much younger, obviously you were working as a junior, whatever it may be. You were working there. You go. There's a shot there of you and Gary working. What does it mean to you now to be able to bring in this big national victory? The major shifter card event with no Supernats this year. The kind of Rock the Rio was the major shifter card event. You end up getting that win for GFC. That's got to have a good feeling in the heart as well.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a good way to end this crazy 2020 season. I went into it just wanting to have fun, and I think Gary definitely saw that. But the intensity is still there. That's never going to go away. But I had such a good time. That the fun was brought back into racing for Nick. He's my age, and I don't think I've laughed so much over a race weekend or race week. So it was just a really good time, and just to have the good equipment there as well. I didn't really have to worry so much about having to worry about what tire pressures to use or the gearing, because Gary, he's won this race before, and I just pretty much had to wheel the go-kart and drive as hard as I could. So, which is what I do best. And it's definitely a great feeling, and I'm still super psyched about it.
Jason, let's go to you real quick, because we talked about the fact you supported a couple drivers. Cole Shade was one of the drivers that was obviously part of Squadron Trackmagic. Injured ribs. They tried to rest him and to be good for Rock the Rio. He's got an off season now to get himself back where he needs to be. what's the future plan look like for Trackmagic? I know that at one point, there was 20 carts, I think, that were built, and they were kind of all spoken for. Where are you guys going with this? Are you going to want to sort of mass produce some carts, or is it going to be kind of a boutique cart, or what's it going to be?
We just had this conversation because, sometimes you just want to win first, and then you're like, man, that's really cool. Then what's the next step? And I've been asking that. I think Gary and Carlton and we were just talking about that, and we got some ideas. But mass production. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I want it to be a racing team, and I want to help these guys. If we sell go-karts, I mean, that's a bonus if people, want to do that. I mean, but right now, I mean, what's going to come out is going to be a really good product, very limited, and it's going to be race focused, and it's going to be awesome every year. And we're going to put, as far as drivers, I mean, Cole got hurt, but he was fast with hurt ribs down there before he got hurt. Mm-hmm. And I thought Oliver coming in was the best thing that could happen with, Cole, and I mean, obviously, looking in the past, I had other guys that came back and raced when I was younger. And I thought, man, these guys, you learn lessons, from teammates, and that was a really good thing. But I like to see this whole program just be really professional. I mean, I don't want to see karting. I want to see Trackmagic be everybody in karting want this ride. This ride should pay and should be professional. This program should be absolutely. I mean, when I say professional, I'm not saying PSL truck. I'm saying you show up and you're not paying to sit in a go-kart, and you're like Supercross. This is the top of karting. This isn't the bottom of anything. What Oliver came back to win is hard. What he did is almost impossible. Yeah. Driver Schumacher came back. I mean, he didn't win the Super Nats, right? I mean, you don't come back to karting and just put on a show like that. For him to not be an IndyCar is just, my opinion, stupid, because, he's American. I mean, I'll talk shit for Oliver, but McLaren is going to sell cars in America. I have one. And, why the hell would they want to hire, someone who's not American? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But this brand here, what we're doing for karting, I think shifter kart racing needs to have professionals. It needs to have one premier, class. And I think that we're going to start it, and I don't care if we show up in a semi and have 2 go-karts roll out, because that's what it should be. And then a whole bunch of idiots like me and the rest of our awesome owners group cheering them on in a nice hospitality tent with beverages, and Rob's invited. I mean, that's what we're there to do. Yeah. And so that's kind of where I see the future going. But will there be some go-karts for sale? I think we'll figure out how to sell some karts. And I think we're going to do some other things, maybe have some other stuff. I mean, I built that 4-stroke shifter kart, and I want to build a cadet shifter kart. Why is there not cadet shifter karts?
We had the old used 60, to be 60cc back in the day. Yeah,
they're 60 and 80s. Yep. There was and now, So let's do that again. I mean, and let's put a Trackmagic together with one. So, but I mean, we got ideas. I mean, but I think Gary, he's on a daily basis. He's got to do what works right now. Yeah. And he's got to do the business the way it works in karting right now. I can come up with the crazy ideas. I mean, that's fine. But right now, I think I want to make it professional. I want to make their team the most sought after. It's got to be the most sought after ride in karting right now. I mean, who wants Oliver's seat right now?
That's it, right? I like that. Yep.
So that was the goal. Now, we're going to move forward, and there's going to be on the big races. Hopefully Oliver comes back, and hopefully he's too busy doing other forms of racing that he can't. Which is why when we talked about the Florida Winter Tour, I'm like, are you going to call up and say I got an IndyCar deal and I can't run it? But maybe one-off race here and there if he's available, and we can do it 100%. Because that's what it takes. And we're right now, Gary's in charge of the driver selection. I mean, I didn't even know who Matthias was. I didn't, I was never friends with Oliver.
Yep.
I never, I like it. I talked to Gary, and we agree on most everything after it's explained, and his team, what he's done and who he picks has been really good for the brand. But why would he do all this and not have the say in who it is? I mean, he's in the sport. He's in the sport. He knows. And so it's been fun. If he picks the wrong guy and they lose, that's him too.
We pause our face-to-face broadcast for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. Made in the USA. That's exactly what you get from Precision Karting Technologies. Based in Detroit, Michigan, PKT brings over 35 years of manufacturing experience to the sport of karting. Their passion for the sport began focusing around the Kid Kart platform and has expanded every year with hundreds of products designed to put you on the podium. Precision Karting Technologies is known around North America for their successful line of axles, available in all age groups. PKT manufactures a number of engine products for Comer, IAME, Rock, Rotax, and the popular Briggs & Stratton 206. A wide variety of chassis components for the many brands in the sport are available through PKT, including hubs, pedal risers, skid plates, and other hardware for your kart. Axle straightening, chassis adjustments, engine service, and specific CNC machining projects are available through their Motor City headquarters. To learn more about the many products and services available from Precision Karting Technologies, head to pktaxles.com. Winning takes top quality equipment, flawless preparation, experienced coaching, and passion. And at Team GFC, we live our passion. Team GFC is focused on 2020, and we're set to make our debut at the Rock Cup USA Florida Winter Tour in the East and return for more victories at the Challenge of the Americas in the West. We have arrive and drive packages available for all categories, including the mini and micro classes, utilizing our all-new GFC RR5 Cadet chassis, which made its debut at the SCUSA Super Nationals. Join Gary Carlton and his passionate team in either of these popular winter programs to kick off the 2020 season on a winning note. Team GFC is extremely excited about launching its new Team GFC Young Driver Development Program. Learn from one of the best American karters with over 25 years racing at the highest levels of the sport, offering personalized training on and off the track. Follow GFC Karting on Facebook and Instagram, or click over to gfckarting.com to learn more about joining Team GFC in 2020. GFC, live your passion. Welcome back to Face2Face on the EKN Radio Network. Hey, Gary, let's talk about your 2020. Let's talk about the development of your company, GFC, because it really is one of the major success stories, not only of just 2020, just in American karting right now. You transitioned from being a top driver in America. Then you went over, probably the only American we've ever had spend that much time in Europe as a factory driver in Europe and running in all the programs there. You're a two-time Super Nationals winner as well. Two or three-time? Three-time?
No, two.
Two times. And now your programs continue to develop. You just talked about the fact, you pushed hard in the shifter kart categories, as we know. You talked about getting your first big national win with Jake Drew in the tag category, single speed. Plus, you've got the cadet chassis that's coming on as well, which I think is big, and that's part of the young driver program. Look back at 2020 for me and tell me what you think. Overall, even with all this crazy stuff happening with the COVID-19 pandemic, man, it's a successful season for you guys.
Yeah, I just want to touch on something so I don't have my inbox full of stuff.
Do it.
If anyone wants to be on the Trackmagic, you don't email me. I'll email you.
That's funny. All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
Don't email me. Don't email Jason. We'll email you.
We'll contact you. I love it.
Because if I'm in charge of the drivers, I'll email you. But no, 2020. I mean, it has been obviously difficult for all the race teams, and I mean, a huge shout out to Rock Cup USA for making that Vegas race happen. I think they proved that it was it was more of a thing. They were doing it for the teams, for the companies, for the businesses that are here in North America, not necessarily for themselves. They weren't necessarily for themselves. I think it was a huge risk for them to go do that, and to take that risk for all of us businesses and companies here in the U.S. I think, hats off to them. I don't think not having that race would have hurt a lot of people, and would have gone into the winter. I mean, and for them to stick their necks out there, I mean, huge kudos to them and the Rock program. And I think the racing and the competitiveness of the racing was unbelievable. I think one of our drivers was a 10th off of Oliver, not even a full 10th off. He was 8th place.
Yeah.
And that's for a shifter car. I mean, there was 50 of them just in the senior class. And I think, shifter car racing has been on a little bit of decline in the States, and to have that amount of shifter carts there. I mean, I'm obviously a shifter cart fanatic myself, just like Jason. Yep. And I think all four of us are on this podcast. And it was extremely cool to see the depth. I mean, there was no one missing. Maybe one driver was missing out of all the drivers that are the top drivers in the U.S. So, I mean, kudos to them for making that race happen. But yeah, 2020 was obviously for us. I mean, we didn't really slow down.
No,
luckily, we didn't really slow down. Luckily, I mean, all of our customers, and we brought on new dealers. I mean, a huge part of 2020 was me bringing on, or I guess not me, but Formula Works wanted to bring on the GFC brand. Tony Siragusa, with the help of Travis Irving down in SoCal, has been a huge instrumental part of our success of 2020. Obviously, Jake Drew, I mean, as many people want to say, oh, he's a GFC driver and everything. He's a Formula Works driver. That was a Formula Works team. Of course, I was there helping with anything they needed, but that was Travis Irving, Tony Siragusa, and Randy Pearson of Sweet Tech Racing Engines that won that race, period.
That's awesome.
Those guys, I was helping them as many as I can, much as I could, but I had my hands full with my own team with 16 drivers. So, like I said, Tony Siragusa, Travis Irving, Drake Drew, and the help of Randy Pearson at Sweet Tech Engines, they won that race on a product that I developed and helped, but they won that race. So
nice. Let's
huge.
Talk about your driver development program, Gary. You working with the young kids. I think that's something that's, I think, so cool to watch. Obviously, I got a chance that from the very beginning with Nico Sarfati. You've added more young drivers. It's something that you're kind of building from the bottom end to work up through your team.
Yeah, and I guess Oliver would be a perfect example. I mean, I kind of did this. I'm doing the same things that I did with Oliver back in OGP when he was a young driver that I'm doing now. I'm not necessarily worried about guys. I mean, most kids nowadays, and if you're starting at the base level, but most kids don't. They know what the apex is. They know what lines they need to take. It's all those little other things that can help the driver being in nutrition, being in what they should be doing after the races. I mean, there's so many things that I think can be overlooked. That is, people come to the race and they want to know how do we get fast right away. It's like, well, if you're not prepared before we even get here, you're not ready.
Yeah,
it's all the preparations before the race and how much you want to commit yourself. And there's so many other things than just what you do at the track, and trying to help drivers realize those things. And having a driver like now, a professional driver like Oliver at the tent, I was really hoping all the drivers would see what he was doing and not just necessarily, driving fast. And what we did with a lot of the guys, I mean, I wanted the drivers to be there and a group debriefs and things like that, because I was hoping they would pick up on little things that Oliver and even Hunter Pickett, our more experienced drivers, would say and do and watch them. There's so many little things that I learned from going over in Europe and working with professional race teams, and I'm sure Oliver learned so much more going through the Road to Indy program. That it's, like I said, I mean, you don't just show up to a team or go to a race and just go say, yep, we're going to go to a race team. They're super professional. They're going to tune our go-kart. They're going to tell us what to do, and we're going to go win this race. Not even close. It's all everything that you do before the race, over the winter. And I always tell my customers that the championships or the races are not won on the Sundays. They're won at Dixon or Sonoma or wherever their local tracks.
Totally
they're won there. They're one there. The races are how you are set up to do at these big national races are predicted or already done way before that race is even started.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that. Oliver, let's go to you. Let's talk about this win. Let's talk about just the event itself. Coming in, what kind of expectations did you set for yourself? You said you wanted to go for fun, but let's be real. You pull that helmet on, and you're going to win races. Come on.
Yeah, well, to Gary's point that he just made, we made an effort for me to go out to NorCal, and we did some testing at Sonoma. Just to make sure, the cart fit right, the seat was in the right position. Gary scales all of his carts, which I think is brilliant, and every team should. He's setting the standard for that. And so the cart was ready to go right away, and I felt pretty good over those 3 days of testing a month prior. Gary mentioned, I look to Gary on a lot of opinions on like how I'm doing, and if he thinks I'm ready. And he said, yeah, I mean, like we can go there and do really well. So yes, I was confident. I wasn't planning on being top 3 every single session, which is how we did. Honestly, one of the best kart weeks I've ever had, and one of the biggest races I've ever won in karting. So I thought I was done 5 years ago, but
I was going to say, yeah. Where does this win rank? That's the next question I had. You've won a lot of karting events, right? Where does this in your world of your karting career? Where does this victory rank?
Well, Gary and I had this conversation that the night after the race, and it's probably in the top 3 for sure. Next to the Rotex National Championship and finishing on the podium at the World Finals, and winning a championship in Europe as well. So it's definitely up there. And I think I've raced in Vegas 4 or 5 times, and I've never even touched the podium, I don't think so.
Well, let's
really
throw
cool.
this out there. Your P3 at the Rotex World Finals at NOLA was 7 years ago today.
Oh, really?
You referred to
that was the last race I think Gary worked for me.
Was it?
As your mechanic, yeah. As your personal mechanic, it was, yes.
That's amazing. Well, guys, listen. Let's talk about 2021. Oliver, are you going to be putting that black and yellow suit on again next year?
We'll see. I definitely like to, and I think it's a perfect opportunity for me to give back to the sport as well. Jason and I had a really long conversation the other night, talking about how we can maybe put on a karting camp, or some way that I can mentor, like Gary said, his young kids on the team. I think it means a lot to me, and I had those people to look up to when I was young, and Dan Weldon, for example. And I remember how starstruck I was, and how in tune I was when he was racing for Ocala Grand Prix, getting ready for his IndyCar season. I think it was the Florida Winter Tour, and I want younger kids to kind of feel the same way and have like a role model to look up to, and I think that's a perfect situation, and hopefully we can make that happen. It doesn't even have to be at a race. I love driving karts and practicing just in general. So I think I'll plan to make a few trips out to California to do that.
That sounds like that would probably be the biggest win of this entire program. If some kids had a chance to spend some time with you, I think that would be amazing.
For sure.
We pause our face-to-face broadcast for this quick commercial break. Stay tuned for more here on the EKN Radio Network. Acceleration Kart Racing is your first and only stop on the internet for karts, parts, and safety gear to get you on the track. ShopAKRA.com offers a great selection of karting equipment on a user-friendly website. Acceleration Kart Racing has aligned itself with many of the top manufacturers and distributors in the sport to ensure that all the latest equipment is available to you, the consumer. With customer support available 6 days a week, you can be confident about getting the right parts at the right price. Be sure to visit shopakr.com today or stop by their headquarters in Las Vegas. Also, follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest specials, clearance items, and new products. There's simply nothing like entering the tunnel at the Daytona International Speedway, and Margay Racing is proud to provide a unique opportunity for Ignite racers in December. This year's Daytona Kart Week, hosted by the World Karting Association, opens the door for this chance, and Margay is offering up a 3-2-1 prospect. 3 days of racing, 2 different tracks, all with 1 kart and 1 set of tires. The Dash at Daytona is providing Ignite drivers in Senior, Masters, and Junior with the opportunity to race at both the 24-hour Roval course with the WKA Road Racing Series and the traditional sprint track for the WKA Manufacturers Cup Series program. Ignite Karting is a spec package that includes the Margay Racing chassis mated with the Briggs & Stratton 206 engine package and the Hoosier R80 tire. It's all made in the USA. Everyone in the Junior, Senior, and Masters classes utilize the same Ignite K3 package, which puts the emphasis squarely on the driver. This unique and historic Florida event kicks off the 2021 Ignite Majors schedule. Learn more about the exact details for the Dash at Daytona, along with Ignite Kart packages and arrive and drive opportunities at ignitekarting.com. Get off the couch and get on the track this year. Ignite Karting. Fuel your passion. Welcome back to Face2Face on the EKN Radio Network. I love that. Gary, what about you for 2021? The momentum you guys have built is ridiculous this year. You started off by sweeping the shifter kart podium. I think we were at Tucson, first round of the Challenge of the Americas, right? You swept it there. Like you said, a couple drivers on the podium at Rock the Rio. So just so much momentum. Where are you guys going? Where is GFC going to be trackside in 2021?
A little bit everywhere. We're definitely going to start leaning on our dealers a lot more too. And the whole idea, so when you have dealers, you can spread your legs out. I mean, there's only 52 weekends of the year, and where the fifth official team obviously can't hit all the races. So we're definitely going to be hooking up with Mike Rivera from Rivera Racing for the Florida Winter Tour. I'm sure the Rock Florida Winter Tour is going to be very, very strong. So we'll be going out with him. We're working on the drivers that are going to be coming out from the West Coast. We're going to ship some stuff out there. And then obviously we're going to be with Challenge of the Americas. Andy Seisman's series is a must hit. In my opinion, it's a great series. We're great people. I mean, you come out there for those races. As you know, I mean, just amazing environment and they go some amazing tracks. I mean, obviously it's close for us for there. We're going to try to do some local races also with the KPX. We have a lot of drivers in the Young Driver Development Program. They're going to be hitting those. We have a Cenzura Rock Championship that we'd like to hit, and then obviously to see where Rock goes for the Rock Fest races, and then obviously Rock the Rio, and then we'll kind of see what SCUSA does. Kind of a bummer that SCUSA puts some races on top of Andy's. I'll be the first one to say I will be supporting Andy's series, so we'll look at the other 2 races. But it's kind of a bummer that we can't make the first one, and if you can't make the first one, I don't know about making the second too. Yeah, and then obviously everything that Formula Works will be doing. I know they do a lot of the Tri-Cs races. They do all the LAKC races, and then some of the Pro Kart stuff. Definitely want to support them as much as possible. Like I said, I'll be going down there next week. I leave tomorrow to go do some testing with them with some newer drivers during the week, and then I'll be helping all their current drivers that are on the GFC product throughout the weekend. So very busy. Want to make sure that we support our dealers the best way possible, and then along with our national race team guys along the way. And we'll be doing a lot of cross deals with the guys. I mean, any guys that want to be doing the races like the LAKC events or want to be doing the Florida or any of the East Coast events, I'm not going to be trying to use my official race team. I don't want to be driving all the way out there and wasting my time on the road. I want to use my dealers for that. And I think that's building a strong dealer network and having all our customers utilize all that is very important to me. And then any dealer that we want to expand with, I want to show the support. And I think that if I show the support and show that if any of my drivers want to go there, go to the dealers, go through them, and show that our dealers are just as good. And it showed with Formula Works winning the national title. Right. Like I said, I mean, that was their own program. Jake Drew was not underneath the official tent. They were using all their resources, all their own tuning. I was just there for backup. They'd come like I was hovering over that go-kart every session. Formula Works, Travis Irving, Tony Siragusa won that race.
That's awesome.
They were on a GFC kart, but my dealer won that race.
New dealer in Colorado as well, correct?
In Utah. Yes, we got Scuderia. Right. Yeah, Scuderia Ayrton Littell, who ran with us. He's going to try to expand in the Utah realm of things. I mean, obviously we know that's a small market, but he's been doing a great job in growing the GFC brand, especially in the 100cc category. So been really cool to see our brand, slowly grow throughout the US, and without our dealers, I mean, it's not possible to do that. Obviously, being a one-man band and being just here in NorCal, you have to have those dealers to make it work.
That's it. Yeah. All right. Let's wrap up with you, Jason. What's up for Trackmagic, the owners group? I know you guys tried to get a big race, kind of a fun day. There we go. Now we're showing some shots of Jason LaPointe. That looks like Supernats, I think.
Yeah, I hate
probably out the rock pile. Dude, I like seeing those old pictures, Jason. Dude, that's good stuff, man. 1999 SCUSA Pro Moto Tour S1 champion.
So, owners group.
Yeah.
This group, I mean, we might hit 500 members by 2021. And I think now that we're doing all this and Oliver's involved and GFC's growing so fast, our owners group is going to grow even faster. But we're going to have a big event. Chris Egger, Pat Sakers, that place is awesome. I mean, I went out there numerous times now, but I haven't been there for a while, and it's only 7 miles from my house. So, but we're going to have a big event there. Most likely have an additional event in Northern California, in the heart of where most all the big Trackmagic core members are from. Yep. And then supporting this junior track day and stuff with Oliver Askew. I think the owners group, Trackmagic, has to be part of it. I mean, I think we're already in the works. I made some phone calls. Howie's helping out. We'll see what's available, what weekends. I want everyone in the program, Cole Shade, Oliver, Gary, of course. Scheduling the events for the Trackmagic rallies are hard because Gary's schedule is insane. I mean, trying to get him, dedicated to a weekend, and now with juniors and senior program and dealer network. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he can come, but maybe not. But yeah, we're going to do some big events, and when these events are super cool. So at the event, big tents, awards. We don't do racing. So it's kind of fun because you can go there and do all the fun stuff about a track weekend without any stress. And so it's really cool. And we're, the restoration of the carts and the appreciation of it, you can buy something on Craigslist for $1,500, show up and have a good time. And they're still not slow. I mean, these carts are still competitive. I mean, I'm watching guys racing stuff that's 17 years old, and I'm like, wow, it still works. So I think that the group's going to grow, and we're bringing in now into the Trackmagic owners group a lot of people outside of Trackmagic are joining because they like the group, they like what we're doing. I think Bob just sold 104 hoodies. I saw that. We give all the proceeds, Squadron Trackmagic. And so we're going to expand that. So website's coming, online is coming. Jeff Deskins is working on something.
Shout out to Jeff, right? All the old school shots.
Shout out to Jeff. I'm going to forget a bunch of people, but I talk to them all day, every day. They know my messenger is like, I'm like, oh no, I missed an hour, So yeah. So we're going to have all that, lots of stuff pop up. It's going to make it more popular, and we're going to support maybe more drivers if we can. But Gary's got this program down pretty good for what we want, and so that's all good. The owners group is sky's the limit right now. Karting needs it. The bigger this pie, the more everybody can have, and so that's what I'm. If we can make it bigger on the recreational side, Why is there not? You've seen UTV invasions, UTV takeovers, all types of rallies. I've been in different sports, from ATVs, UTVs, boating, regattas. I mean, you go to Glamis right now for Thanksgiving. There's 250,000 people show up to recreate. There's more money there than a car race has ever seen in its life. And I'm like, okay, let's make it fun, and then it's going to get popular again.
I like it.
So that's where we're at.
All right, man. Well, listen, I appreciate all you guys. Jason, Gary, Oliver, thank you so much for joining us here on Face to Face. Congratulations on all the success at the Rock the Rio event. Oliver, it's good to see you back out there getting at it. And obviously, great for you, Gary, as well, to get that big win as the team owner. So congratulations to all you guys. Trackmagic is back. Very cool. Thanks for joining us. There it is. All right, we'll get these guys out of here. I'll wrap things up here. Folks, that was fun. It's going to get dark here in Southern California. Thank you so much for joining us here on Face to Face. We really appreciate it. If you haven't done so yet, hit the like button below. Subscribe to this channel as well. We're going to have lots of content coming out here on the eKarting News YouTube channel. Thank you for everybody from the Trackmagic Owners Group. I saw a lot of you guys jumping in and making comments as well. We do appreciate it. Great chance to talk to Gary, Carlton, Oliver Askew, and Jason LaPointe. Again, 3 kind of generations of factory Trackmagic drivers. We're done here for this edition of Face to Face. I'm Rob Howden. Book it.